Exuma halts a controversial mooring project as government ties raise questions. Tonight, a cease and desist order has stopped the project amid environmental concerns. A 21-year seabed lease, official signatures, and a minister's approval. Just what's really going on? And residents still feeling the effects of Friday's massive fire on Gladstone Road. While some sympathize with the loss of business, others say the scrapyard was a long-time problem. Their reaction straight ahead. But first, he stepped in to stop a sexual assault and was shot. Now, months later, a man has lost his fight for his life. His grieving mother claims authorities failed to protect him despite repeated threats. Hear her emotional plea. Then in Our News at 7:30, the National Security Minister drops a bombshell, claiming his predecessor signed contracts for himself. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. We begin with a sad update to a story we first brought you last September. A young man who was shot after allegedly helping a woman who was being sexually assaulted died in hospital over the weekend. Now, his grieving mother demanding answers, claiming authorities failed to protect him despite reporting endless threats. Our Delvado Emmanuel gets us started.
The family could go and visit their son to the prison. They could see them there and they well. But I got to visit the grave.
Alicia Ferguson Cunningham recalls the day she visited her son, Arthur James Knowles, in hospital after he was shot. On August 28th, then 29-year-old Arthur Wilson experienced a life-altering event when he allegedly intervened to help a woman who had been assaulted. That selfless act made him a target, ultimately costing him his life. She says after he intervened, he started getting death threats and was shot moments after making a report at the Criminal Investigation Department just days after.
If the police came the night this happened, he would have been, this probably wouldn't have escalated. You understand me? And at the end of the day, I don't care how bad a child is. If someone say they're afraid for their life, that's a sign.
Following the shooting, Wilson was in and out of the hospital for months, where he underwent emergency surgery. His mom says doctors had to remove parts of his skull, storing it in his abdomen to preserve it, but claims the medical care that followed left much to be desired. Last September, Ferguson Cunningham told us in an exclusive interview that her son needed to be flown out to Cuba for medical care. Sadly, he passed away on Saturday before he could make that trip. She recalls her final conversation with her son on the day he died.
He said, "Mommy, don't move your hand." And we took him here. And when they took him here, they said it was not life-threatening. He keep complaining about these pain.
She says she's holding on to the most precious memories.
The laughter, the jokes, we row, we make up. But he would give you the shirt off his back and he don't know you. And if you don't have no food, he cut that plate in half and he share that with you.
We reached out to police press officer Sharia King for an update on the case. She confirmed investigators met with the family today. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Delvado, our hearts go out to that family tonight. Meanwhile, residents still reeling from that massive fire on Gladstone Road Friday that destroyed a scrap metal yard and sent thick black smoke into New Providence skies for miles. As you can see there, a structure on the corner of the western entrance to Victoria Gardens community ablaze, impacting air quality and power supplies for those residents in that community. When we revisited the area Monday morning, Amanda Meadows told Our News while it's sad the business was destroyed, the scrapyard, along with mechanic shops in the area, has plagued residents for years.
Yeah, I am sorry it had to happen that way, and I'm just glad that no one got hurt. But yeah, because like I say, it's it's been a problem for us, for many years now. I've been around here probably 16 years now, and first we had to battle the dump fire. All that smoke and stuff. So now it's like the issue of, that business on the corner, with all those cars parked, and, it just makes, don't give the area a good look.
On Friday, owner of the scrapyard, Brian Richard Bethel, told Our News despite taking safety precautions for years, he had a bad feeling the day would come. Meadows says she hopes it's the last.
the first thing to get it cleaned up first, and then I don't think it'll be a good idea to put something like that back there. You know, we just want to be able to come in and out of the corner easily, you know, without accidents. And there have been many accidents because of that business right there.
A controversy brewing in Exuma over government's approval and a possible conflict of interest over a moorings and anchorage project. The story broke on social media over the weekend on claims that buoys were installed without proper approvals, prompting Exuma's local government to issue a cease and desist order on February 21st. Government confirms it holds equity in Bahamas on Bahamas Moorings Limited, the company behind the project. There's also reportedly a 21-year lease for over 4,000 acres of seabed connected to this project. Now, that cease and desist letter obtained by Our News, issued by Exuma Keys Administrator Christopher Adderley, orders a work stoppage until the project receives authorization from several relevant agencies. In responding, though, the Davis administration confirmed Sunday night that Prime Minister Philip Davis, as Minister for Lands, approved the lease along with cabinet authorization in June 2022. The issue becomes even more complex, as officials in the Office of the Prime Minister signed the lease as a witness for the company, while Deputy Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Sandra Hilton Kemp, signed as an agent of Bahamas Moorings Limited. The cease and desist letter also alleges that Kemp's husband, Philip, is the company's president. We are following this. We'll bring you all the latest. A 31-year-old corrections officer has denied bringing marijuana and other contraband onto the prison compound. Collins Roll faced charges of possession with intent to supply and introducing prohibited items into a correctional facility when he stood before Senior Magistrate Shaka Serville. While at the prison on February 20th, Roll was allegedly caught with 14 ounces of marijuana, a cell phone, 2 cell phone chargers, and 2 earphones. Roll is free on $6,000 bail. His trial set for June 4th. The Royal Bahamas Police Force said to be suffering from a severe manpower shortage, according to Minister of National Security Wayne Munro. Munro blames the shortage on a lack of aggressive recruiting between 2017 and 2021 under the former Minnis administration. At a press conference about the clear, hold and build strategy, Munro said the plan is to work to improve these efforts with hopes of recruiting 100 young people.
Which will maximize the training capacity in both New Providence and Grand Bahama simultaneously, such as the manpower deficit.
But how is this impacting operations of the force? Police Commissioner Shannon Old says it's not putting a dent in their ability to police the streets.
I want to say thanks to the officers who are not looking at the clock. They're not watching the clock when they report for duty. And I find that there are lots of officers, when we call them out, they come. And so this is, while we understand that there is a shortage, while we see that there is a shortage in our manpower, it is not affecting the production or the productivity of the officers of our operation.
And now to another story we are following, as National Security Minister Wayne Munro making explosive allegations, accusing his predecessor Marvin Dames of awarding contracts to himself. Is this a direct conflict of interest? Munro says yes. This as we await a response from Dames, but be sure and stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for the latest on this. But for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Gideon, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. Gray skies around the islands tonight. We have a frontal boundary and a low-pressure system starting to move across the area. That kept temperatures comfortable. 74 degrees is our current temperature on the outside and mostly cloudy skies. It is breezy out there. Southeast winds at 18 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 72. Right now, it's 69 in Freeport with some showers nearby. 71 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Allenstown, Bimini, 72. 74s, Great Harbor Key here in the capital. We pick up 75s in Nicholstown, Andros, Andover, and Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. 76, Kemps Bay, Andros. Arthurstown, Cat Island, 76. 75, Coben Downs, San Salvador. 76 also in Georgetown. Some showers in that vicinity as well. Deadman's Key, 78. And upper 70s to near the 80s across the southeast Bahamas with 79s in Duncantown, Ragged Island. 77, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, and Providential is all 78. The warm spots, Maguana, Abrams Bay, and Matthewtown, Inagua. Satellite radar composite, we have a frontal boundary and a low pressure system starting to move across our area, dragging a lot of moisture across us. Showers and thunderstorms are the name of the game across most of the northwest Bahamas. We anticipate most of this to be moving in our area. So we could see some showers here in the capital by tomorrow morning or late tonight, and that will continue to push towards the south, bringing us some showers and well-needed rainfall. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, Team Bahamas finishes off the third and final AmeriCup window 1-1 and booked their ticket to Nicaragua.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m. only on RTV.
Presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton, DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live, starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man, Escape, Coco Jones, Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest, March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape it.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Bahamas basketball reached another major milestone on the international stage. The senior men's national team is headed to the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup. Team Bahamas finished the third window with a 105-83 loss to the United States Sunday night at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. But the most important thing for the program was what occurred off the court. The team finished second in Group D with a 2-4 record and totaled 8 points to advance as one of 12 qualifiers to the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup, August 23rd to 31st in Maguana, Nicaragua. Against the USA, Dominic Bridgewater led 4 Bahamians in double figures with 19 points. Franco Miller Jr. had 18, Tavario Miller Sr. scored 14, and Nathaniel Bastian finished with 10 points and 9 rebounds. Lamar Taylor and his Tennessee Volunteer teammates have been dominant at the SEC Championships in Athens, Georgia, and closed out the meet with another NCAA record. In the final event of the meet, Taylor and his Tennessee Vols swam 2 minutes, 42.41 seconds in the 400 free relay, nearly a full second ahead of the record set by Arizona State at last year's NCAA Championships. Earlier in the meet, Taylor was also a member of the 200 free relay team that set a new NCAA record on day 3. The Hugh Campbell final tips off tonight between the defending champions C.I. Gibson Rattlers and the Tabernacle Baptist Falcons. We'll tell you how they got there. 25 teams all came down to a pair of familiar inter-island rivalries when Sunday night's Final Four played out at the A.F. Adderley Gymnasium. the Rattlers returned to the championship with a 65-58 win over the reigning GSSA champion Anatol Rogers T-Wolves. On the other side of the bracket, the Falcons followed up last week's upsets in the GBSSAA finals with another win over the Sunland Baptist Academy Stingers, 59-55. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Pope Francis shows signs of improvement amid his battle with pneumonia. The Vatican says his health is improving, but doctors remain cautious. Plus, the voice behind Killing Me Softly and The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face has fallen silent. Roberta Flack, the Grammy-winning icon, has passed away. And the massive investment by Apple, now committing over $500 billion to the United States. The story when our news returns.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m., only on RTV.
Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live, starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man, Escape, Coco Jones, Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest, March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Each week, we go into the heart of our sector.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Pope Francis's health has slightly improved, the Vatican said Monday, as the 88-year-old remains hospitalized with pneumonia. Doctors reportedly remain cautious but report no asthmatic crises and improved lab results. The Vatican says oxygen therapy continues at reduced levels. The Pope, now in his 10th hospital night, reportedly rested in the morning and resumed work in the afternoon. The Vatican said Francis sent his thanks to those praying for his recovery. Families with children were among 242 Venezuelan nationals deported from the United States on Monday. Venezuela's Interior Minister, Diosdado Cabello, denied claims that deportees are tied to a gang, contradicting U.S. reports that 80 migrants on a recent flight had alleged links. He accused officials of misleading President Donald Trump. This was the third deportation flight and the first to include women and children. Starbucks is cutting 1,100 corporate jobs and simplifying its U.S. menu to boost struggling sales. On Monday, the company said it will eliminate nearly a third of its menu over the next year, starting with the Royal English Breakfast Latte, White Hot Chocolate, and several Frappuccinos. Starbucks says this will improve efficiency, reduce wait times, and refocus on core coffee offerings. U.S. sales have dropped 8% amid complaints about prices, long waits, and unionization efforts. Starbucks says the changes take effect March 4th. Legendary R&B singer Roberta Flack has died at 88, according to her representatives. Known for songs like The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face and Killing Me Softly, she passed away peacefully, surrounded by family. A classically trained pianist turned soulful vocalist, Flack won multi-Grammy and Grammys and broke musical boundaries. Diagnosed with a neurological disease in 2022, she could no longer sing but remained an influential force. Her legacy spans decades, from jazz clubs to global hits, inspiring generations of artists. Apple said Monday it is investing over $500 billion in the United States over 4 years, adding 20,000 jobs and building a new server factory in Texas. The move follows President Trump's claim that CEO Tim Cook pledged to shift manufacturing from Mexico to avoid tariffs. Apple says the Houston factory, set to open in 2026, will support its AI features and create thousands of jobs.
He's investing hundreds of billions of dollars, and others too. We're going to have a lot of chip makers coming in, a lot of automakers coming in. They stopped 2 plants in Mexico. They were under construction, starting construction. They just stopped them. They're going to build here instead because they don't want to pay the tariffs.
And Barbadian Prime Minister and CARICOM Chair Mia Mottley calling for governance reforms within the regional body. Speaking at CARICOM's 48th regular meeting recently, she highlighted urgent issues like climate change, crime, and high living costs. Mottley also pushed for independent CARICOM funding, proposing new revenue sources. She stressed that business as usual is no longer an option and urged leaders to unite for the Caribbean's future. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 24th. Plus, a game changer in Bahamian business as the country welcomes its first AI humanoid. She's smart, she's interactive, and she's redefining customer service. See her in action next. Then in our news at 7:30, a Grand Bahama woman claims her bank balance has been wiped out, and months after the incident, she says there's still no justice. Her search for answers coming up. Plus, absent fathers, lasting trauma. A local pastor sounds the alarm about the absence of male figures in the society and the deep scars it carries into adulthood. We'll tell you his message at an International Men's Day service when our news returns.
Presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man. Escape. Coco Jones. Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest. March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
This day in Bahamian history in 1720 was the Battle of Nassau. The Historical Society notes Governor Woodes Rogers successfully defended the island of New Providence from an attack by a larger Spanish raiding party from Cuba. The Spanish made off with over 100 enslaved persons from the city, although the assault on Nassau itself was repelled and the invasion a failure. Then in 1965, the Beatles came to the Bahamas to film scenes from their second film, Help. The group stayed at the Balmoral Club, now known as the Sandals Royal Bahamian Hotel in Cable Beach. And finally, on this day in 2018, Sir Durwood Knowles died in Nassau. He was 100 years old. Knowles was a sailor and Olympic Games multi-medalist, winning a bronze medal at the Games in Melbourne, Australia in 1956, and a gold medal in Tokyo, Japan in 1964 with Cecil Cook. At the time of his death, he was the world's oldest Olympian. A lending company becoming the first local business to try their hand at artificial intelligence. It Simplified Lending Limited, launching their humanoid robot Evie during a press conference this morning. As Joshua Williams tells us, she's quite impressive.
We can't get to the target point, Pete.
Imagine walking into a lending office to speak with a loan officer, but instead, you're greeted by a robot. Meet Evelyn Filistina, or Evie for short. Her creator says she represents the future in the lending business, offering an easier way. While it's in its beta stage of development, it's the hope of founder and CEO of Simplified Lending, Robert Pantry, that Evie will continue to evolve.
She represents the future of financial services and the future of business in general.
Evie will be able to interview clients, scan application documents, and even pre-screen applicants before the file goes to a loan associate. So I wanted to see myself and asked Evie this question.
What's the difference between secured and unsecured loans?
Secured loans require collateral, such as a car or property, while unsecured loans do not. With a secured loan, the collateral serves as security for the lender in case you are unable to repay the loan. Unsecured loans, on the other hand, rely solely on your creditworthiness and income. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
No, thank you.
The man who programmed Evie is Proficient Business Services CEO Montino Roberts. He says they're not taking jobs from taxpayers, but bridging the gap between efficiency and that personal touch.
Change is happening because of demand. Agreed? The banks are closing branches. The long lines are getting longer. So it is our anticipation that the situation will help change the mindset.
Pantry says it's only the beginning, as Evie won't be alone.
So Evie and her brother that we're working on, the intent is for us not to keep this knowledge or this development to ourselves. To Simplify Tech, we will be deploying different versions of Evie and humanoid robots to different industries to help with different problems or different tasks.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, what a way to step into the future. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm amazed by that story.
Times
are changing.
Listen, but I just had a thought in my head, though. What if Evie can't answer the question?
I don't think Bahamians would.
And what? Then what?
Yeah. Wait, we'll wait and see.
But hey, at least we have it, right?
Yes.
At least we have it.
All right, thanks so much, Ken. Well, coming up, a Grand Bahama woman claims her bank balance has been wiped out, plus absent fathers last in trauma. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, National Security Minister Wayne Munro claims former National Security Marvin Dames awarded government contracts to himself. Our Berthany McDermott has a story coming up. Also, she says her money disappeared from her bank account, and months later, there is still no resolution. We have the story coming up. Plus, disturbing allegations land a man behind bars. We have details from the magistrate's court, and later, local pastors calling for action as they weigh in on the country's rising murder rate. They say the violence is senseless. We have the full story when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucaya solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama. as NT Corporation shines brighter than ever. NT Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Joining us, I'm Italia Hall. National Security Minister Wayne Munro making major allegations against former National Security Minister Marvin Dames. Munro alleges his predecessor signed and awarded contracts to himself. Munro calling it a direct conflict of interest. Berthany McDermott has the story.
My predecessor had a security license as Minister of National Security. He signed to renew his own security license every year that he was minister. You can see his signature on his security license.
National Security Minister Wayne Munro making the shocking allegation at a press conference at the office of the Prime Minister Monday. He was referring to former National Security Minister Marvin Dames. But he didn't end there.
And then his company got the security arrangements when Buju Banton, a convicted cocaine trafficker, had a concert here. And I am aware that when convicted individuals seek entry, and no objection from the Ministry of National Security is usually sought. So if the usual practice held true, he would have been asked for no objection.
We reached out to Dames, who served as the Minister of National Security during the last minister's administration, but got no response up to news time. Munro was detailing what would be classified as a direct conflict of interest among law enforcement officers. In Parliament last week, Munro revealed the shareholders of Metro Solution, the company contracted under the former minister's administration. Among them was Kirkwood Andrews, the current Deputy Commissioner of Police. The National Security Minister said no officer awarded anything to themselves. He also explained there is nothing preventing law enforcement officers from having shares in a company.
It is clear to me, from the view of the files, that the undertaking was the undertaking of Leon Bethel. And that was borne out by the fact that although the contract was awarded to Metro Security Solutions, all of the payments were made directly to Leon Bethel. I know Deputy Commissioner Andrews, if he had an active involvement in a company, he'd make sure it had a bank account.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks so much for that, Berthany. Now to an unfortunate story from Grand Bahama. A resident is still seeking justice after her hard-earned funds vanished from her bank account. She says to date there's been no resolve. Let's take a look. Tamika Dixon says it was on Friday, November 12th, she deposited $4,500 into her bank account on Grand Bahama. However, the very next day, her mother called asking to borrow money, and to Dixon's surprise, the entire balance was gone. Dixon says she immediately went to the bank on Monday and reported the issue with her account.
The bank told me, said, if I ever ordered off
Silverado, Amazon, 7-Eleven, and I told them, said, I don't even eat pizza. So I asked them, said, what is Silverado? They couldn't tell me what was Silverado. I know 7-Eleven in the States, that's a gas station where you go and you buy stuff from.
She was told to fill out a fraud form and was promised a follow-up call, which Dixon says never came. As a result, she returned to the bank in December and was informed that their investigation had been completed and that her money would be returned.
Now it's February, going into March, and I call them. They keep giving me the runaround. Right. Every time I go there, it's like a different story, and I don't think if somebody put their money on in your bank and on the account, their money should go missing. Just like that.
Dixon, visibly distressed, now wants a resolution as she says it's been far too long.
Hopefully they put my money back on because I have kids.
Is behind bars after being accused of raping a woman he knows. Prosecutors allege that Cadwell Taylor raped the 27-year-old on February 18. Taylor didn't have to plead to the charge when he stood before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans. Bail was denied and he's back in court on June 25th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. This means the evidence against him will be presented and the case fast-tracked from the magistrate to the Supreme Court. Well, a community left in shock after a young father was gunned down in broad daylight on Dunmore Street as his 4-year-old daughter just was feet away. The brazen attack caught on camera is sparking outrage, with local religious leaders calling for change. The chilling video captures the moment multiple gunmen unleash a barrage of bullets into a black Japanese vehicle. Within seconds, the victim slumps out of the front seat while a small child frantically escapes from the back. Senior pastor of Bahamas Harvest, Mario Moxie, who also serves as the first vice president for the Bahamas Christian Council, says it was horrific to watch.
Look at that video and see the child just completely frightened and perhaps forever scarred. It's incidents like this that, as a community, our hearts are aching. The senseless killing, the violence, and the onslaught is just way too much for us.
Pastor Moxie says the church is taking a proactive two-pronged approach to deal with the surge of violence, starting with a National Day of Prayer this Saturday.
And it's initiatives like this where the church gets in a posture of prayer to pray for the nation, as well as to assist some of the relevant agencies like the police in the community. There's a lot of that's happening. And then we're also reactive in the sense of when incidents like this happen.
Well, now to the sad news. Our News understands that daughter of a former Prime Minister, Kelly Ingram, died. The 45-year-old spent some time in the public life, served on the Straw Market Authority. Ingram, who was also an attorney, served as senior associate at McKinney, Bancroft and Hughes with experience in commercial and civil litigation and financial services. As an active member of the Bahamas Bar Association, she was an appointed representative of the Board of Directors of the Bahamas Financial Services Board. In a statement, Prime Minister Philip Davis offering his condolences, saying he spoke to the former Prime Minister, Hubert Ingram, to personally extend his sympathy. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard also paid tribute to the former Prime Minister's daughter.
Kelly was a shining star in her field, an emerging force whose impact was already being felt and whose potential was limitless. The Bahamas has lost a brilliant, dedicated professional and a loyal friend to many. During this time of unimaginable grief, I extend our deepest sympathies to our entire family.
And of course, deepest sympathies to the family from the entire Our News team. Switching gears now, cool temperatures and light rain to start off the work week in the capital. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome everybody for a quick check on conditions around the islands and outside our studios. Gray skies around the islands tonight. 74 degrees is our current temperature and the mostly cloudy skies. It is on the breezy side. Southeast winds, 18 miles per hour with some higher gusts. Feels like temperature is at 72. Satellite radar composite, a low-pressure system as well as a frontal boundary now taking shape across the eastern Gulf of Mexico and across the northwest Bahamas. That low will continue to push towards the northeast. That will drive that front across our area. Northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, central Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon, and into the southeast Bahamas by tomorrow night. And of course, high pressure will build back behind that, giving us some nice cooler temperatures for the end of the week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at the extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, police are bringing Claire Hold and Bill to the Nassau Village and Carmichael communities. This as there's a rise in murders and shootings in the capital. Also, a local pastor calling on men to be role models to others. We have his full comments straight ahead. And later, a program that's been changing lives for 18 years is tackling bullying and building future leaders. We have details from the latest Princess Court session on Grand Bahama. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Diet-friendly special.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m., only on RTV.
After 4 months in the Anglican community, the Claire Hold and Bill initiative is moving to Carmichael and Nassau Village. In a press briefing Monday morning, Police Commissioner Shanti Knowles telling us they have seen 4 murders and 4 shootings, also 86 gunshots reported in Nassau Village. As for Carmichael?
In the Carmichael community, 4 murders, 4 shootings, and 94 gunshot reports, again detected by spot shot technology and the community.
On 3 key phases which aim to clear the focus communities of overgrown bushy areas, abandoned buildings, and derelict vehicles to reduce crime. Officials touted the team's work, noting a sharp decrease in crime in that area. The police commissioner says gang violence and shootings were a major concern.
After this initiative took place, from the 7th of October until the 16th of February this year, we saw a major decrease in those crimes. 3 murders occurred in the Anglican area and 0 shootings. Gunshot reports were 50 and they're now down to 20. And so it tells us that the program is certainly working for us in this community.
The lack of male figures in society creates trauma that carries into adulthood. That statement is according to Living Waters Kingdom Ministry Senior Pastor Apostle Raymond Wells. Wells' comments came at the International Men's Day Bahamas Church Installation Service held Sunday at Living Waters Kingdom Ministries.
I will ask the question, is your father present? So Is your daddy in your life? Is your father in your life? Do you have a male figure that you look up to? 98, not 95, 98% of the time, I watch young men and young women, where there's RBDF or where there's the suspension program. I watch these children bow their heads, some with tears in their eyes, because their answer is no.
The International Men's Group focuses on promoting male role models and celebrating positive contributions made by men. Newly elected officers will serve a 3-year term led by incoming President Apostle Henry Higgins. Captain Sean Adderley brought remarks on behalf of the group.
I know if you look around, you would think that this is a service for the Defense Force, but my captain, Captain McPhee, reminded me that this is just how serious we take the need for positive role models. This is just how serious we take the need for positive role models. And so we congratulate you and we wish you every success during your time in office.
All right, now turning to women. This as young ladies on Grand Bahama are being empowered through the Princess Court Mentoring Ministries. The organization that has been around for some 18 years seeks to empower young girls ages 5 to 18 through mentorship, virtue, and leadership. On Saturday at the Central Zion Baptist Church in 8 Mile Rock, the young ladies gathered for a session. The group had an opportunity to hear from several leaders within the community. Sergeant Natalie Knowles focused on the topic cyber, physical, verbal, and emotional bullying. As she says, there's been an increase in schools on the island.
We have noticed that bullying actually occurs amongst school-age children, and then it spills over into our communities. So what other way is to come and to address such matters is to come in such settings like this to let them know how painful and embarrassing and the hurt that one can get if they are being bullied. We also teach them not to be a bullier, and if they are victims of being bullied, then they must report the matter to an adult or to some loss to a police officer.
Founder of the organization, Stephanie Barrow, says to date over 3,000 young ladies have passed through the program.
One thing that encourages me with the Princess Court is that because of after the 18 years, those who have gone through the Princess Court are now coming back to be mentors in the Princess Court, and that is very encouraging. We teach them for self-esteem and to help them to find their purpose in life as they seek God.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, Team Bahamas is headed to Nicaragua. Lamar Taylor is a part of another NCAA record, and we get set for tonight's Hugh Campbell final.
Plus light rain showers in the capital to start off the work week. Greg is back with our extended weather forecast when our news returns.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m., only on RTV.
Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man. Escape. Coco Jones. Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest. March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Bahamas basketball reached another major milestone on the international stage. The senior men's national team is headed to the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup. Team Bahamas finished the third window with a 105-83 loss to the United States Sunday night at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium. But the most important thing for the program was what occurred off the court. The team finished second in Group D with a 2-4 record and totaled 8 points to advance as one of 12 qualifiers to the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup, August 23rd to 31st in Maguana, Nicaragua.
And I'm very proud of our guys. We came in and accomplished what we were supposed to do, and that was to qualify for the tournament in August. And we did that, so we get another, we get to play and get another shot at this thing.
Against the USA, Dominic Bridgewater led 4 Bahamians in double figures with 19 points. Franco Miller Jr. had 18, Tavario Miller Sr. scored 14, and Nathaniel Bastian finished with 10 points and 9 rebounds.
Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get 2 in a row for them, but it was a really great showing in the first one and a decent one in the second one. But USA played a great basketball, and playing at home is always a pleasure, So it was fun to play in front of my son and in front of my family.
Cuba was disqualified after forfeiting their final game against Puerto Rico due to visa issues. Thus, the Bahamas and Puerto Rico both advanced out of Group D alongside the United States. Lamar Taylor and his Tennessee Volunteer teammates have been dominant at the SEC Championships in Athens, Georgia, and closed out the meet with another NCAA record. In the final event of the meet, Taylor and his Tennessee Vols swam 2 minutes, 42.41 seconds in the 400 free relay, nearly a full second ahead of the record set by Arizona State at last year's NCAA Championships. Earlier in the meet, Taylor was also a member of the 200 free relay team that set a new NCAA record on day 3. The Hugh Campbell final tips off tonight between the defending champions C.I. Gibson Rattlers and the Tabernacle Baptist Falcons. We'll tell you how they got there. 25 teams all came down to a pair of familiar inter-island rivalries when Sunday night's Final Four played out at the A.F. Adderley Gymnasium. The Rattlers returned to the championship with a 65-58 win over the reigning GSSA champion Anatole Rogers T-Wolves. C.I. Gibson led by as much as 8 points in the fourth quarter before Anatole trimmed the deficit to 2 with just over 5 minutes left to play. But the Rattlers got several key plays down the stretch to seal the win. Reigning Hugh Campbell MVP Tashawn Butler led the Rattlers with 24 points. Darius Hannah scored 15, and Conde Smith stuffed the stat sheet with 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Ray Woods led the T-Wolves with 13 points, and Derek Francis scored 12. On the other side of the bracket, the Falcons followed up last week's upsets in the GBSSAA Finals with another win over the Sunland Baptist Academy Stingers, 59-55. The Falcons trailed heading into the fourth quarter, but opened the final frame on a 11-3 run to tie the game. Anthony Mizik scored the Falcons' last 4 points within the final minutes to seal his team spots in the final. Gianno Murray led the Falcons with 25 points, Mizik scored 16, and Dylan Moore scored 14. Jermaine Woodside led the Stingers with 15 points. That'll do it for our sports. It's 242 day today, so if there's anything you're gonna do, you can watch this segment 242 times. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, light showers in the capital on this Monday as temperatures cool down. Greg is back with our extended weather forecast when our news continues. Stay with us.
Ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to Tony Braxton, DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live, starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma, Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh, Beanie Man, Escape, Coco Jones, Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest, March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the...
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m. only on RTV.
Presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton, DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live, starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma, Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh, Beanie Man, Escape, Coco Jones, Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest, March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
This is our news. Welcome back. Low pressure system and a frontal boundary now pushing to the northwest Bahamas with a lot of showers and thunderstorms associated with that. Some of those showers will be locally heavy. Thunderstorms will be strong to severe times. So the Department of Meteorology has issued a severe thunderstorm watch for the northwest Bahamas as the system continues to push towards the east, bringing us some well-needed rainfall over the next day or so. Taking a look at our future forecast, this is how things will be shaping up. A lot of moisture associated with that low pressure system, dragging that front across our area through tonight and into tomorrow. The front passing through the capital by early tomorrow morning and then into the central Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon. And through the rest of the next several days, it should be pulling out towards east and away from us. Boating forecast. Northwest Bahamas, asking you boaters to use some caution. Winds will be south to southwest, 15 to 20 knots. They will be gusting higher times, seas 4 to 6 feet. Of course, those gusts will be locally higher in those thunderstorms. Low tide will be at 10:59 tonight. High tide takes place at 5:20 in the morning. Central and southeastern islands, caution flag for you as that front approaches you by tomorrow afternoon. Seas winds actually southeast to south, 15 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. Those winds will be increasing 15 to 20. Seas will be building 4 to 7 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we will keep showers in the forecast tomorrow as that front lingers in our neck of the woods. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s. Wednesday, we should see some clearing. Temperatures back near the 80-degree mark, and that should take us into the end of the week. Frontal boundary expected by Saturday. We're looking for temperatures to take a little bit of a drop during that time frame. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Atalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.